is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Happy Thursday. Yo, boy Ernest here. Back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Now, before we get started, you guys would really appreciate if you could do me a favor, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Y'all know the drill. Now, let's get ready to rock and roll on the Miami Heat Talk adventure. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to wish a happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Amy. We've been together now for almost 14 years. We have two beautiful little girls. We've developed this amazing home together. We've gone through ups, we've gone through downs, just like any relationship has, but we've stuck together. And I have seen my wife's birthday now for 14 years, and I always make it the biggest day of the year. So I got some big stuff planned for us this weekend. Amy, I know you're watching. I love you, baby. Happy birthday. As you see, guys, all smiles, all positivity, because you know here at Miami Heat Talk, that's what we preach. If you're having a bad day, if you're having a bad time, rough time going on in life right now, remember, you guys, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Keep a half glass full mindset, stay positive, and I promise you, things will get better. And we're going to start to get better because we talking Miami Heat basketball, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's August. August is the slowest time of the year. Last year, it wasn't that bad because we were doing the whole Damian Lillard watch July, August, even parts of September before he was traded. So it was fun. Now, things are incredibly dead. Things are slow. The Miami Heat's training camp doesn't start until next month. Preseason starts the beginning of October. What we going to talk about? I got it. We're going to talk about how I feel this Miami Heat team is going to be a problem for next season. Now, I understand that people are probably chuckling already. They're probably laughing. Ernest, this Miami Heat team ain't going to do nothing. We run it back every single year. This team sucks, blah, 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 blah. Does not matter because all of that is false. At the end of the day, during this Jimmy Butler build, the Miami Heat have made the playoffs every season. 3 Eastern Conference Finals trips, 2 NBA Finals, but zero championships. Now, is that a successful run? Is that a failure? It's really everyone's decision to decide. I call it a success because at the end of the day, when the Miami Heat traded for Jimmy Butler in 2019, it was a laughingstock trade. People did not understand why Jimmy Butler would do something like that. They predicted the Miami Heat probably wouldn't even make the playoffs that year. And we went to the NBA Finals. So I do think that it's a success because of the success that you've had during these playoff runs. But at the end of the day, if you don't put a year in the banner, you're kind of an afterthought. People don't remember the 1996 Seattle Supersonics that well. They remember the 72-10 Chicago Bulls. How Seattle could have been remembered is if they defeated the 72-10 Bulls. So when you don't win championships, some people may remember you, but you kind of become an afterthought. So for 2025, it's all in. All the chips are in. You're not holding back to see what hand comes to you. You're going all in. Because Jimmy Butler at 35 years old with a player option next season, you're going to see what you get out of him. Is Jimmy Butler going to take the regular season serious? Is Jimmy Butler going to load manage like he's done the last few years because he's been safe under contract? See, that's something people don't think about. The reason why Jimmy Butler hasn't really gone full throttle in the season is because he hasn't had to. When you're under contract, when you're the first or second year of the contract, you can coast a little bit. And that sounds disrespectful and stupid as hell. Believe me, I think that way too because I come from an era when I started watching basketball in the 90s where people played in the regular season and in the playoffs. But nowadays, players don't play for the team. They play for themselves. It makes sense, you guys, because a team can just trade you willy-nilly. They can use you up and send you out. But at the end of the day, like Chicago did with Derrick Rose. But at the end of the day, if you protect yourself, longevity is the key for the NBA. So I understand both sides. But like I said, you guys, this year, Jimmy Butler is in a contract year. And if there's one thing we all know about sports, well, at least smart fans know about sports, is that when you're in a contract season, you're going to overperform because you want that money. At 35 years old, I'm sure Jimmy Butler's looking at Paul George, who at 34 got a 4-year contract worth over $200 million from Philadelphia. I know Jimmy Butler's eyeing that. I know Jimmy Butler is thinking, if I bust my ass and play hard this year, I'll get a 3 to 4 year contract and ride off into the sunset. Now, whether that's with the Miami Heat or with another team, all depends on what Jimmy Butler does this season. If Jimmy Butler balls, plays 70 games, 65 to 70 games, has an all-NBA season, I don't think Heat fans would have a problem giving him an extension. But would he play during that extension? That's the issue. That's why I personally feel, you guys, no matter what Jimmy Butler does, this will probably be his last year with the Miami Heat. Unless we win a championship. Because if you don't win a championship with Jimmy Butler, the writing's on the wall. It's time to build around Bam. It's time to get players to go around the Bam build. And I'm not saying to put Bam as your very best player, but now it's time to get somebody else to build around Bam. Because if Jimmy Butler opts out after this year, that's $52 million off your table. You're going to be way under a second apron, and now you'll be able to have flexibility to go after somebody else. But we're not talking about the 2025 offseason. We're talking about how the Miami Heat can be a problem this year. And when you look at this roster on paper, you guys, this is probably one of the best rosters that we've had during the Jimmy Butler build. Now, the question is, what's the best starting lineup and closing lineup that would work perfectly for this Miami Heat roster? Now, I've said it before, a great 9-man rotation, I love Kel'el Ware. I think Kel'el Ware is definitely going to be the starting center for this Miami Heat team moving forward, but probably not this year, especially since Nikola Jovic broke out last year. So you're probably going to see a starting lineup of Bam Adebayo at the center, Nikola Jovic at the 4, Jimmy Butler at the 3 like we've seen before, but I think what the Miami Heat need to do, you start Terry Rozier at the point guard. What you need out there is scoring. With those 4 players I just named, you need a guy that can hit the 3. A Klay Thompson-esque type of player. Duncan Robinson. Now, I know I've said we can start Haywood Highsmith in the past, but Duncan Robinson's 3-point shot is way more lethal. And we've seen it work. When Duncan Robinson is starting with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, his numbers are insane versus coming off the bench. Because now Duncan can play his game off of Jimmy and Bam. And now Terry Rozier can add his element there. So I think that's a great 5-man rotation. We saw that 5-man rotation. We saw that starting lineup when Tyler Hero came back from injury for 2 games, coming off the bench, where we got like 19 and 18 points each game. It worked. And then Terry Rozier got injured. So in my opinion, that's the starting 5 the Miami Heat should go with. Haywood Highsmith at the 2 over Duncan, I would accept that also, but I think Duncan Robinson is the perfect candidate at shooting guard because of the offensive threat you're going to have. Now, with that starting 5 rotation, you guys, look at this coming off the bench. Tyler Hero as your 6th man. Jaime Jaquez Jr. as your Swiss Army knife. Kel'el Ware as your big man coming off the bench. And as the 9th man, go on matchups. Because you have 4 players that you can easily plug. Haywood Highsmith, Josh Richardson, Alec Burks, Kevin Love. All 4 guys that have veteran presence and that can give you something different. So there's not a perfect 9-man rotation in my opinion. There's 12 guys that you can mix, match, and play with. And let's not forget, we also have these 2-way players that are showing improvement. Keyshawn Johnson, Josh Christopher. I know Drew Smith is on a 2-way contract, but I think somebody else is going to grab that during training camp. So this Miami Heat roster, you guys, these 12 players I named that are going to be active roster players in this lineup, deadly. Even if Jimmy Butler misses some time like we know he will, it's going to be covered. We have enough players to make this work. I know we lost Caleb Martin, but in my opinion, it's really not a huge deal because you have guys that are going to make up for that. You have guys that are going to step up. Caleb Martin leaves, Haywood Highsmith and Jaime Jaquez Jr. will take that role. But the real question is, with those 12 players, who would be the best closing games? When I say closing games, I'm talking about when there's 6 minutes left, 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Who are the 5 guys that you want out there? Now, people may not agree with this, but I feel that the best closing roster moving forward, what do you need in the closing roster? You need scoring. You need players that are going to score and put the ball in the hoop, obviously. So my opinion, you have Bam Adebayo at the 5, Jimmy Butler at the 4, Jaime Jaquez Jr. at the 3. Remember, Jimmy and Jaime, they can switch roles also. I don't mind either of them at the 4. Tyler Hero at the shooting guard, Terry Rozier at the point guard. Now, for people that are going to say Tyler and Terry don't work, I don't think that would be the case when you're closing games, because you need guys to score. That's what Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero do. In the fourth quarter, with 6 minutes left that the game is close, you put yourself in a position to win. Now it's time to give the ball to your best players and let them cook. You can also have Kel'el Ware in that lineup instead of Jaime Jaquez Jr. So now you can have Bam at the 4, Ware at the 5, Jimmy at the 3. This gives you more of a defensive presence. Now, for people that are saying Bam, Jimmy, Jaquez, Tyler Hero, and Rozier would not be a great defensive presence, I don't think that's the case. Jaime Jaquez has been working on his defense this offseason and his three-point shooting. We know Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are pests in the defensive end. Terry Rozier can hold his own defensively, you guys. Tyler Hero is the missing link, but last year you saw an improvement in Tyler Hero's defensive game. I saw stretches where Tyler Hero was a pretty good defender out there. You know, a few years ago, you saw Steph Curry just embarrass the dude. Now he actually stays in front of players. Tyler is developing defensively. And I think, you guys, Tyler Hero, with the injuries, with the crap, with the flack that he's been catching on the internet, you know, you're looking at a guy who I feel is going to step up and is going to take those reins. He's already the second year of this monster contract. I'm sure he's hearing all the cluttering. You got this money, you don't want to play. He's going to step up. I really believe that. He got himself in way better shape, which is something I clamored for. What did I say the moment the season ended? You need to get to the gym, bro. You need to get them arms built, like your boy Ernest here. And we've seen Tyler Hero look incredible this offseason. He's committed himself. And I think with his new build, it's going to take away the possibility for him to get injured next year. Maybe I'm wrong. Injuries, man, it happens. That's something we can't control. But unfortunately, with this Miami Heat team, it hits us so much. So Heat Nation, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think that this Miami Heat team for 2025 can actually be a problem and defend with the East? I know you have Boston. I know there's Philadelphia. I know there's New York. I know there's Indiana. I know there's Milwaukee. I know there's all these teams, but I've said this before. In a 7-game series, fully healthy, with Jimmy Butler leading the squad, I ain't afraid of nobody in the NBA. You can say before in 2023, y'all lost because you ain't got no size. Well, we fixed that problem. 2 years later, you got Kel'el Ware and Nikola Jovic now. We're ready to answer the test. We're ready to answer the calling. I believe in this team and I know that we can do it. But ladies and gentlemen, if we don't, if we fall on our face and lose, that's good too. Because now it's time to retool and build around Bam. So Heat Nation, for those that are pessimistic and negative with this team, understand there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Whether we win or whether we rebuild, it's all going to be good. So let me know what you think in the comments, Heat Nation. Don't forget to like the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell to get all my updates, because we are rocking and rolling to 5,000 subscribers. Thank y'all so much for the love and support. And one more time, my beautiful wife, Amy, I love you. You're my heart. You're my everything. You are my eyes when I can't see. You are my light. You are my breath when I can't breathe. Amy, I love you with everything in my heart. And I will continue to love you forever and ever. Thank y'all so much, and until next time, your boy Ernest out, and that is enough said. Yeah, buddy. Let's go.